This is somehow supposed to be a paper plane. And this one apparently flaps like a bat while flying. At this point, I genuinely couldn't tell if these were paper plane or origami experiment. So today, I am building and testing for viral paper plane to see if they actually work in real life. So starting with the weirdest one, this thing. I genuinely had no idea how this was even supposed to fly because this barely even looked like a paper plane anymore. At this point, I was just trusting the process. And honestly, it looked pretty cool. But I still thought this thing would fail instantly, and somehow this happened. This thing didn't even move like a normal paper plane. And yeah, I may have spent way too long throwing this thing around, which probably says a lot considering this thing is literally a flying paper circle. Next was this weird ninja looking plane, and which honestly looked less like a paper plane and more like a bomber. And surprisingly, this one was actually pretty easy to make. But for some reason, it kept flying upside down. Yeah, at this point I basically made a paper B2 bomber. Now, this was the one I was most excited for because apparently this thing flaps like a bat while flying. And this was also way harder to make. At one point, I genuinely had to keep pausing the tutorial because I had no idea what was happening. But after all that, this thing better flaps. And yeah, it definitely did not flap. It honestly just flew like a normal paper plane. I mean, technically the wings moved, and honestly, that was probably the most successful thing it did, like except flapping the thing actually. And finally, the boomerang plane. This one actually looked really promising. Alright, a moment of truth. Yeah, and that was like that moment my roof started to collect in this paper plane. Not gonna lie, man, I made 4 more and somehow all of them ended up on my roof. Wait, that actually almost worked, right? I mean, it technically came back, just not back to me. These things were way more fun than I expected. Some of them looked completely different online, and some of them barely worked at all. But somehow, I still ended up spending literal hours throwing this thing off camera. Because normal paper planes don't even fly like this. Whether they work perfectly or not, this was still fun. Anyway, bye.